35 years old. See, I bet you couldn't tell that. And I live in New Rochelle, New York. So what do I do for a living? I'm the co-founder of a lifestyle and entertainment PR firm called Beyond PR Group, and I handle PR for everything from TV shows to brands to products, all kinds of different things. And at the same time, I'm the founder of RollMommy.com. It's an online events company and community that I've created in 2005 to help working parents help pursue their passion while raising a family. My education is I have a master's degree in journalism from NYU, and I graduated from UMass Amherst many years ago with a degree in communications. My household is filled with, it's a menagerie. We've got two kids, a 16-year-old and a 13-year-old, my husband, of course, a dog named Santana, who's actually out of the house right now because she's driving my son to school. Actually, my husband's driving and she rides in the passenger seat. And then we have two cats, Hazel and Jasper, where I don't know if they might pop out of nowhere. And Guapo, our bearded dragon, lives upstairs in my son's room. So what do I love most about being a mother? You know what? I think seeing my kids achieve the things that they have achieved so far in their lives is such an amazing experience for me. So whether it was being at any of the graduations from fifth grade, from junior, middle school, and now my daughter is in high school and she's an artist and she's into fashion, and seeing all her creations just all the time blow me away. And my son is a rising baseball player. He's very good at that, and he's also now obsessed with magic. So he does magic tricks all the time, and he's really impressive. So I don't know, there could be some magic in his future if the baseball career doesn't pan out. What do I hate most about being a mother? Let's see. Paying the bills, trying to figure out where we're going to find, the money to go from column A to column B. Oh, that's Jasper in the background, by the way. I hate that I have to be the one worrying about getting the medical forms for camp and for school, the dental appointment, the orthodontist, if there's an emergency and we run out of something. I can send my husband out to get it, but a lot of times it's just easier for me to just go and do it. And I'm the go-to person. Anything that we need in the house, even if something breaks, which has been quite often here, I'm the go-to person for that. Not that I'm a contractor or anything, but I know who to call. And I have my plumber on speed dial. How would I describe my parenting style? Okay, so I'm the kind of parent that is, I would say, strict but supportive. I am so not a helicopter parent. I don't want to micromanage my kids. What I do want to do is be that, that person that helps guide them to where they want to be. If they have a specific interest, I'm going to help find them classes to potentially explore that interest. So if my daughter is really interested in fashion, so she took classes at FIT, and my son is interested in magic, so we're going to go to one of his favorite magic shops this weekend to see if he could meet up with some magicians and learn some more tricks. But I think it's really about finding the things that they love and cultivating it. And when they struggle, as hard as it is, let them fail. And that's an ongoing conversation that I have with my husband, because he gets super frustrated and sometimes feels that they're not necessarily applying themselves or studying as hard. And I asked him this week, I even said, well, when we were in high school, I don't remember my parents pushing me to study. If I wanted to get an A, I had to put in the hours, and so did you. And if they don't want to do it, they're going to have to suffer the consequences. I'm not going to be sitting next to her while she's taking the SAT. I won't be behind her when she's in a college psychology class. So somehow, some way, we have to raise our kids to get to a point where they need to be their own individuals and go off, and whether they're a C student or an A student, as long as they're healthy and happy, to me, it's all that counts. So, what trait bothers you most with kids? Okay, I'll tell you. I should say traits. And, a lot of times, first it starts with little kids. So if you are a parent of a little one and you like going out to restaurants, which I've always been a restaurant mom, more so than a cooking mom. So you're in a restaurant, you've been there too long, and your kid starts acting up and starts whining or screaming or throwing a tantrum. You know what? It's the parent's responsibility to get that kid out of the situation, to remove them from the situation so that everybody in the restaurant doesn't have to be disturbed by them. And it's not a matter of everyone should be just dealing with it because they're a 2-year-old. No. You decided to go someplace with a 2-year-old, and if your two-year-old spontaneously combusts, you need to deal with it and not have everybody subjected to the tantrum. Secondly, picky eaters, it just drives me berserk. And I'm not talking about a kid that has allergies. I completely understand that. But if you have a 9-year-old who still won't try certain foods, who will literally have a meltdown because there was gravy on their meat, there's a problem. There's a problem there. Because once they get older, what's going to happen when he starts dating? He's just going to have chicken nuggets while she's having her linguine, with clam sauce. Open their horizons, take them to places or give them foods that they might actually like instead of them already being predisposed to hating it. And I'm happy to say my kids eat everything from Indian to Thai to Korean barbecue to sushi, and that's a lot having to do with my husband. But it's much easier to take them to restaurants than to a kid that only eats chicken nuggets, hamburgers, and french fries. Do I speak up with a parent? Do I speak up when I disagree with another parent? Yeah, I do. And I have to say, I'm sorry, I missed a question. Do I judge other people's parenting? If so, how? Yes, I do judge other people's parenting skills, and I feel badly for it. And I feel like it's not because I'm a psychologist or I don't have a background in education, but I have a 16-year-old and a 13-year-old, and I've been through those things where they've given up sports because they hated it, or they, didn't make that special program that they wanted to get into and were devastated by it, or they had some sort of ailment that wouldn't go away and I had to figure out what the heck it was. We learn by experience. And so when I see a parent going through something with their kid that I actually was in that situation, I try to say, well, when I was here, this is what we did. And sometimes when the parent is in that moment and is super frustrated and their kid is not listening or is just being super difficult, they get mad at me. And I've had that happen to me. So I have to learn how to kind of be a little bit nicer in the way that I present my feelings, but sometimes I guess it comes off a little bit condescending, and I feel badly. But you know what? If you want to get your kid to get their act together, you've got to listen to other parents who've been there, done that, and have actually gotten to the other side. So anyway, I go back to, do you speak up when you disagree with another parent? Yes, I do. You know what? Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I'm not a follower. I like to lead by example. I am strict with my kids. I don't want them to talk back to me or be rude, and there are times when they do, and when they do, they suffer the consequences. But you know what? As much as my kids are my best friends, I'm also their mom. And I think a lot of parents really just want to cave in and be their kid's best friend and make sure that whatever they ask for, they give them. And you know what? That sets them up for disaster. Because what happens when they graduate college and they don't get a job yet and they're still relying on you? We need to set them up to become responsible adults. And that's what I'm hoping we're doing here. So why would I be good on the show? I've been blogging since the dawn of time. Since 2005. I actually was recently called the Martha Washington of bloggers. So I don't know what that means, but it is pretty hilarious. And actually, even when I started writing about motherhood, I wrote a book called Peeing in Peace, Tales and Tips for Type A Moms. And it was all about the work-life balance and the funny side of what it was like to be the parent of a young child. And now, I've been there with the 16-year-old and 13-year-old, and I'm still learning. And I learn from my friends as well who've been there, done that. So I think that I'm, that parenting expert who's still on the road, who could totally offer some really good advice. And sometimes break the news. I could try gently, but I don't know. I can't guarantee that they need to make a course correction. And I hope you like what you see.